feel like so many people had no idea what to expect. Cosmetology school is never as bad as they say it is, and it's never as good as the school makes it sound. Hey, I'm Deja. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing a few things that I feel like you should consider before you enroll in cosmetology school. Now, if you're watching this video, you're probably thinking about whether or not you should go. And I've gone to cosmetology school before. I am a licensed cosmetologist. I am a current hairstylist in the Charlotte area. And I just want to share with you a few things that I wish I knew, or a few common misconceptions that I saw that a lot of people weren't aware of before beginning the journey of cosmetology school. Now, if you're already enrolled, you probably or may know most of this, but if you are in that spot of like deciding whether or not that's something that you want to pursue, then this video is going to be for you. First things first, why should you go to cosmetology school? Why do most people go to cosmetology school? Usually they have an end goal, usually being a hairstylist, a licensed esthetician, a nail tech, a waxer, whatever the case is. They want to be some form of a beauty professional. And in order to do it professionally, you do have to be licensed. Now, schools don't necessarily teach you higher level learning. Schools are meant to teach you the basics to get your license and prepare you for state board so that you can get your license. They also give you time to practice and learn the theory and physical application of doing the services that you desire. Now, for a lot of people, the interest varies in cosmetology as a whole because it is such a broad scope of work. Cosmetology includes, at least in the state of North Carolina, which is where I'm licensed, cosmetology includes hair, skin, and nails. If we wanted to go a step further, we could break it down more and say hair, waxing, facials, lashes, nails as they pertain to hands and feet, okay? So that is a lot. I am a licensed cosmetologist, but I do not do hair. I only do hair, but I do not do the aesthetic scope or the nail scope of work. So I focus personally on hair. Now, I would recommend cosmetology school to you if you are someone who is considering, should I go to cosmetology school or should I go to an aesthetic school or should I do nails? If there's even a slight chance that you may be interested in a different aspect of cosmetology later on down the line, I recommend doing cosmetology because you only need one license to cover all those areas. Now, if you know for a fact, without a shadow of a doubt, that you are only interested in skin, you are only interested in waxing, you are only interested in lashing, the aesthetics license, the aesthetics program at your school is going to be the route for you, and the same as it pertains to nails, okay? A lot of people actually get started after they have already started, if that makes sense. And what I mean by that is that some people, not everybody who started in school is just starting from the beginning. Some people have been doing stuff, or maybe they have been doing their siblings' hair or their family's nails or something like that. So they have an idea, but they kind of need the formal education to progress them further and to make them a professional at what they do. But you're also going to be with people who have never done anything and woke up one day and said, hey, I'm going to go to school and I'm going to do this and I'm going to make this my thing. Like, I'm going to take this leap. I'm going to start today. And here I am. You will realize that in cosmetology school, people come from all over. And I mean, like, in regards to life, like, there are going to be people who have completed a career and cosmetology is going to be their second career. There are going to be people who have never worked a job in their life and straight from high school will be in cosmetology school. There will be people who are a few years into something and feel like they want to do cosmetology part-time. So make sure that you give people, or, give yourself grace, like wherever you are in your journey, make sure that you keep in mind that like you will find somebody like you, but there will also be someone younger and older than you too. That's super important because I feel like, I can't talk, y'all. I don't know why I can't talk. That's super important because I feel like a lot of us spend time judging ourselves or being in our heads about stuff when we need to just do it and get it out the way. So if that's you, give yourself grace, but go get enrolled, okay? Like the time is now. But make sure that you tour multiple schools. Make sure that you choose a schedule that is conducive to your lifestyle. Being licensed is important if you want to work at a professional level. Yes, there are people in the world who do hair, who do nails, who do waxing, without being licensed. They don't have the formal education of infection control. They don't have the proper background of how to do simple things. Like the concept of cosmetology school is very foundational. You are not going to go super in depth or at a very high level into anything. You're going to touch a little bit on a bunch of things. So if you're expecting cosmetology school to teach you how to, I don't know, I'm trying to think of an example. If you're expecting cosmetology school to teach you how to make a wig, if you're expecting cosmetology school to teach you how to do the highest level of a specific style of haircut, like these are things that won't be taught in cosmetology school. These are things that you will have to pursue after you are licensed and once you figure out what your niche is, because those are referred to as continuing education courses, and they're often not necessarily put on by schools, though they can be, or big brands. They're usually done differently, but that's something that you pursue afterwards, and a lot of people don't realize that. Cosmetology is going to be a lot of science. It's going to be a lot of theory. It's going to be a lot of anatomy, some hair color, because it's an intersection of a lot of things. You have to understand some chemicals. You have to understand people's health and how certain medicines react with what you're doing. Different things all meet and intersect in this industry. And so you'll kind of be surprised at what you may learn, but it's definitely going to be relevant to your education and your success. Now, one of the big things that I feel like a lot of people don't do or should do is tour multiple schools. When you tour different schools, you get different environments, you get different feelings about what you see, right? You get to experience different teachers, different interactions with students. You get to kind of like walk through their like when you walk through the school, you can take in their resources, how they spend their time, what the classroom looks like, what the salon looks like, what products they use. What schedule they have. That's so big. So many people are interested in part-time or full-time, or a large part of cosmetology school is being able to show up. And if the schedule doesn't align with your lifestyle, it clashing will be a really big obstacle for you to overcome. You want to make sure that you set yourself up for success. Now, going back to touring different schools, you want to make sure that you also fit in with what you see. Teachers, they fluctuate. They come and go in different schools. Some teachers stay for a long time, and the students will obviously change and go through, but you want to make sure that you feel comfortable as a person who has to show up for your program.
So I realized while editing, instead of saying fit in, I should have said, make sure that the school is a good fit for you. Don't get tied up in saying, oh, I love this teacher. Oh, I'll be going to school with this person, because people will fall off. Everyone that you start with will not finish with you. And instructors may leave or may move around. They may fulfill different roles in the school. So make sure that you're okay with the school as a whole. Don't get caught up in the minor details. Make sure that overall it fits you and your needs.
And nobody's going to do the work for you. Make sure that you're happy where you're spending your time, because you will be spending a lot of time and also money. Just saying. Cosmetology school is going to be absolutely what you make it, good or bad. Yes, you may butt heads with some people. Yes, if you spend time with people who make it feel like high school, it'll feel like high school. But if you spend time with people who are intentional and being wise in their choices and spending their time well and preparing themselves for success after school, that will be your experience. Cosmetology school is genuinely whatever you make it. So if you go there, there are people who will fit whatever aspect of how you expect it to be. I don't know if that makes sense, but hopefully it does. Like whatever you're looking for or whatever you think you're gonna get, yes, you will get it. So make sure that you use that in your benefit. Like make sure that you're going for all the right reasons. Make sure that you're going because you're motivated. Because they can encourage you, they as in the teachers in the school, can encourage you to show up and try and help you out along the way. But you have to make sure that inside of you, inside your heart, that you are ready, motivated, and driven to finish what you started. Another thing I want to add really quickly is that school can be expensive. You want to make sure that you are setting yourself up for success, have an idea of how you want to fund it, whether that's paying out of pocket, using federal funding, applying for scholarships. These are all things that you want to know before you get enrolled, okay? You do not get paid to perform services in school. You actually have to be a licensed professional to technically get paid to perform services. Basically, the school receives the payment of the services, and they obviously put that elsewhere into the school, and you are allowed to make tips that way. But as far as like expecting for school to be a job. I feel like I met some people who expected that, and it was not an accurate reflection of how things go. So I just want to make that clear. You do not get paid for services while you are in school. Another thing is that you don't get to make your own schedule. You have a certain requirement, or excuse me, like choose your services. So if you know that you want to go to school for hair cutting, you have to do all the things. You don't have to be good, but you have to do them. There's usually a quota or a certain number of skills that you have to perform in order to show your instructors, your educators, hey, I have this down. I have done this X amount of times. I got it, like, no problem, moving on. A large part of school is showing people you know the work. So make sure that you stay on top of your theory, your book work, and then make sure that you are also practicing those skills. Repetition, repetition, repetition. You will be doing the same stuff over and over and over as a means to learn it and as a means to make sure that you can do it. Make sure that you know, or take a second and write down what is important to you. One, so you can ask it on your tour, but two, so that you can make sure that you have the experience that you want to have. You don't really want cosmetology school to happen to you. You want to make sure that it happens for you. And you do that by being intentional. So as you pursue your interest in the cosmetology industry, you will notice that it is a very large scope and world to get into. Like, the industry is huge. There are a lot of ways that you can find your sweet spot in the industry because there's so much to do. Now, one of the big things that you'll learn pursuing this industry, or pursuing becoming a licensed hairstylist, maybe a nail tech, lash artist, esthetician, waxer, whatever the case is, you'll learn that managing expectations is super important in this industry. And a big part of managing expectations is having information. If this video was helpful for you, like this video, make sure you share it with someone you feel like needs it. And if you are starting out just thinking about or considering whether school is for you, make sure you leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. If you learned something, if you felt like something was useful to you, share it, tell me. And make sure that you check out my other videos in this series, y'all. Bye.